welcome to True Crafty Chatter, where we craft and chat. My name is Tracy,
My name is Sue.
and today, what do we have going on, Sue? What do you have going on?
Um, I'm still market prepping.
Uh-huh.
I have 17 more days until my market.
Oh,
So I've been
getting
just
close.
yeah, I pretty much have everything packed already and ready to go. Um, but I'm just crocheting for fun now.
Uh-huh.
And whatever I have, if I feel like adding it to the pile, I'll add it or I won't. I don't know. So we'll see. But as far as inventory, I think I have enough for it's like 10 to 4. So
Okay.
it's not like a 3-day market to where I need to have a lot of inventory.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, that's it. And watching TV and crocheting.
Okay.
What about
That's
you?
good. Well, let's see. I feel like I always have a lot going on. I'm like that scatterbrain person who can't just sit and do one thing.
Yeah,
Um, so I
understood.
started diamond painting again.
Yay!
So I've been working on this one, and
Ooh.
I've got all this done. It's a small one. I figure
Oh,
I haven't done diamond painting in such a long time, but I kind of wanted to start on something kind of small.
right.
And then let's see, I got bored, and I was like, I kind of want to go through some of my old yarn stash. Like I have all these little leftover balls of yarn. So I started making little baby hats for the charity group. Um, and there's one little baby hat.
Oh, how cute.
They're cute. So I figured, you know what? I'm just going to go through some of my old yarn and just make baby hats. I'm just going to make the same pattern like over and over. Um, and then I wanted to try this, I guess, technique, I guess is what you want to call it, of knitting where you knit with two um, cables or whatever. Anyway, so I'm
Oh,
kind of practicing with that. So this is kind of a good little project to practice on since it's small and, you know, it's just a time killer kind of thing. Then what else? I've been working on this shawl, which we'll see. We'll see how I like it when I'm done.
oh.
Um,
What do you not like about it?
I don't, I don't know. I think it's the shape. Um, it's what's it called? A crescent shape. So basically, it kind of, it's like a crescent moon. Like a, so it goes around. But what happens is that the bigger it gets, the ends over here
Mm-hmm.
start they start getting like twisty. So whenever you wear it, it kind of curls. And I don't know if I like that because I like the back part to be pretty low. I don't want it to be like short, like just barely under my shoulders. But the bigger it gets, the more the ends will curl. But I've gotten so far that I don't want to like undo it. So
Oh, I see.
so I'm just gonna keep going, and then when I'm done, if I don't like it, I'll give it away. I'll give it to somebody. I'm pretty sure somebody will like it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I have those socks. The Yeah, it's gonna take me forever to finish these guys just because I'm
The
not
Rachel?
motivated.
The
The
Rachel
Rachel socks.
socks?
The Rachel
Oh,
socks.
oh
The Rachel
no.
socks that I'm using as the sock knit along for the knitting group.
Are you going to really use it for the knit along?
Well, I already started them,
You're
so
cheating! Just kidding.
I'm ahead of the game.
That's funny.
So there's that. And I think that's it, other than like a few, like I was going to make some more bowl cozies for Christmas and some more washcloths. and maybe some hot pads. We'll see how much I can get done in the next couple of weeks. Like if I do a lot, then
Okay,
I'll give you
well,
some for the market. If I don't, then I'm going to do it for Christmas.
here's the thing. Whatever you say you're gonna work on and finish, the next episode, you're gonna have to show it. So we are
Okay,
gonna hold you accountable for that. No, just kidding.
so what am I supposed to finish?
All of it. You said you're gonna work on this
I'm
and
just kind
this
of
and
work.
this and
I'm
this.
just working on them. I'm not finishing.
I'm just kidding. Speaking of finishing, real quick,
Oh.
off topic, and then you can continue. Remember the project I was working on the last episode?
Uh-huh.
I finished it.
What? Let me see.
It was this.
Oh.
Well, the camera kind of is really close.
Right. So cute.
There we go. There we go. There we go. It's a dinosaur.
So cute. I love the spikes.
But that's what I finished.
Nice. All right. So what else you got?
Right now I'm working on a different spider pattern that I found. It's a jumping spider pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna do that for a giveaway.
Nice.
On Instagram and Facebook for Friday the 13th.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'll be posting that on my Instagram. Follow that and you have a chance to win stuff.
Wind. Whoosh.
Win.
That's cool.
Yeah. But other than that, that's all I have really going on. I have nothing interesting.
Well, I think you have lots of interesting things. Just maybe, nothing noteworthy.
Right.
I'm sitting here looking for a cable to. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about what's going on with this thing.
Okay.
So because it's a crescent or circular shape, whenever you're knitting it on one of these long cables, it just keeps getting bunched up on the cable, so you can't really stretch it out to see what it looks like or how it fits.
Mm-hmm.
So what you can do is you do what's called a lifeline. So you put a cord. Then this is just one of those like rubber cords that you put beads on them, like that you would use like in junior high to make bracelets.
Yes.
So you use one of these because they're like, I don't know, like 10 feet long or something. So you just get like a big long cord and you just cut it to whatever size. So you can see it's like the cord is running through all the stitches, and it holds all the stitches in place so you can try it on or whatever. And then also if you need to get a bigger cord, like this is the cord I was using, and I don't remember how big it is, but I need to get a bigger one. So you can put the project on a cable first and set it aside so you can put a bigger cord on your needle and then transfer it. So that's what I'm going to do.
So when do you know when to transfer it? Or you're just transferring it because you prefer to?
Well, I'm transferring it now because I already tried it on. I already, I'm done checking the size or the shape. So now I'm going to put it back on the cable so I can keep working on it. So I can get back to knitting it. And what's fun about these types of cords is that they sell cords like this for specifically for knitting. I have I don't remember what they're called, but they're the same thing. Oh yeah, here's some. So they come in like this little tin, and I mean this is kind of what they look like. But so you can buy these specifically for knitting, and they'll give you like one long one and two shorter ones. But I bought some, and then after looking at them, I was like, this is the same thing as the ones from like Hobby Lobby, like that you used to make bracelets. And so I'm like,
Oh.
I'm just gonna buy a pack of those. So that's what it is. It's the same
Yeah.
dang thing.
Same
So
wires, yeah.
yeah, same material, same length and everything. Well, actually, it's longer. The ones for the bracelets are longer because you get like this one really long piece, and then you can cut it, however long or short you want it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what are you working on while we chat?
So this is a spider pattern that I found, the jumping spider.
Uh-huh.
And I am trying to alter the colors because I want to use 3 different colors
Uh-huh.
because the pattern is just one solid color. And I was like,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
that's
Boring.
boring. So I'm just playing around with it right now.
I got you.
And it's a lot smaller than I thought, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Um, that's all I'm working on. Let's see here.
Oh, I am also working on my quilt. Well, Gabriel's quilt. That's
Oh
the other
yeah,
thing. Maybe I'll have that finished. See, I got a lot going on.
you do have a lot of projects going on.
I have like craft ADHD.
Yeah, I can't move on to the next project
Uh-huh.
until I finish one
Oh
or
yeah.
until I finish it. Unless it's kind of like, well, I know I'm going to finish it, but I need to do this right now.
Oh yeah.
Like I have a unicorn in the works right now for market that I
Uh-huh.
started because unicorns are easy for me to make because the pattern I like done it so much that I memorized it,
Yeah.
and it's something I can do while I'm at work because I
Mm-hmm.
crochet when I'm at work. And
Mm-hmm.
so I started that at work and I could finish it now, but I'm like, I really need to get this spider done
Yeah.
or started or whatever. So I put the unicorn on hold.
Yeah.
But I can't not finish something.
Yeah. I think for me, I like the process. So I just like doing it. But I'll get bored with different things. Like I'll get bored with the yarn. Like I'm like, okay, I'm
Mm,
tired of looking at this color.
yeah,
Or maybe I'll get bored with the project itself. Um, like okay, I don't want to make a shawl anymore. Um, bowl cozies can get monotonous.
oh
I
yeah,
don't know. There's a lot of things like so I like having a lot of things that aren't finished just because I'm like, okay, well when I get bored I can move on to I can go work on something else for half an hour and
yeah,
then I'm away from the thing that's annoying me. And then when
yeah.
I get back to it, I'm like, oh, okay, I feel better now.
Definitely there are things that happens with me with
hmm
um there are projects where I'm like I need a break from this.
hmm
Um like prepping for market. I don't
Yeah.
know if I can do a lot of markets. It's tempting. But
hmm
then I remember how tough it is to do the same pattern over and over and over again,
Yeah.
especially when it's a pattern you realize you don't like.
Yeah.
or you don't like to do more than 2.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I can do markets unless my market just has like all different things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice to have a bunch of different things, though.
It is, but it isn't, because you want to make what's popular that
Mm-hmm.
people are actually buying,
Mm-hmm.
and more of that rather than something that you know is not gonna sell.
I see. I know I can't. I know I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, I have a hard time doing commissioned work. Whenever people ask me to do something for them,
Mm-hmm.
like, I have a hard time with that. Like, I'll
Yeah.
be excited about it for like the first 5 minutes, and then I think it's because I'm so scatterbrained when it comes to projects that as soon as I'm working on something, my brain is already thinking of something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just like, oh, I'd rather be working on this, or I'd rather be working on that, or oh, I could go do that, and
Right.
and then I'm like, oh, but hold on, I have a deadline. Somebody paid me to do this, or
So now
somebody's
you
expecting me
have
to
to.
have this,
Yeah.
and then yeah, then I start feeling overwhelmed. So the few times, and I haven't done commission works a lot, few times that I have done it, I'm like, never again. Just because I end up stressing out too much.
Yeah.
So I know I couldn't do a market. I'd never get anything done.
Yeah, I don't know. This is why I'm like, this is just a test run
Yeah, but you've done a lot.
for.
Like I feel
Yeah.
like you really have done a lot. Like I'm really blown away.
Yeah.
Um,
But it
like
was
I could
a
never do that.
course of 3 months. It's not like
But
I
it's
did all
still,
that in 1 month.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just comparing it to me. I know some.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are some people that are like even way faster than that.
Yeah.
But I think compared to me, I'm like, it's taking me 3 months to make a sock.
It's okay. It's taking me 3 months to do that doll. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
that dang doll. I have to finish it next week. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm just
One
gonna
thing
give
is
it
for
to.
sure too is that diamond painting though, that is like I forgot how addictive it is.
Oh yeah, that's why I haven't started yet. Back up again, because I knew that if I
Hmm.
open one up to finish it, I won't stop.
Like you should do it after market.
Yeah, probably New Year's.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Um,
were you about to say about the doll um that you have to
Debbie's
finish
doll.
it next week?
Yeah, cause isn't next week the meeting?
Oh, okay. I honestly couldn't remember. No, wait. Yeah, you're right. It is. I was
Yeah.
thinking for some reason I was thinking that they're having that charity night or charity thing, and
The
but I think that's the same day as your market.
next day.
Is it the next day?
Mhm. My
Nice.
market's on the 21st and charity's
They're
on the
doing.
22nd.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Okay.
just for fun.
Yeah. Well, you can make some hats, baby hats,
That's true.
if you wanted to. I mean, you don't have to. You
I wonder
can
if
do
they'll
whatever you
take
want.
amigurumis for charity.
Oh,
I
that's a good
wonder.
question. I don't know. I don't see why not. Oh, I got some of those beads,
What beads?
the silicone beads.
Oh, these?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you
I
try
bought.
them?
I started to, and I was like, oh, I'll try 'em. I'll try later.
They're
But
kind of,
yeah, so I bought this pack.
they're
It has
small.
um. I mean, here's the funky ones, and then here's the round one, and then
Are they the same size?
here's a crochet hook. I don't know if that's a good scale. Yeah, I think the ones that you, yeah, it looks like the ones that you have are bigger.
Yeah, no, you need the bigger ones.
Um,
The
so,
bigger ones
well,
and
these are some that one of those girls had them on her channel. Like she was had the links in her, you know, description box and everything. I don't remember which one it was.
oh.
So, I bought this one just to try them out, but
Mhm.
honestly, I like these, the ones that are not round that have all the little facets on
Yeah.
them. But I also like them because they're really good needle stoppers. So I just put them on the ends of my project so that my stuff doesn't fall off.
Yeah. We have
Um,
that for our Ami sticks. We have
yeah,
the stoppers. This
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, I can just use them as that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I have some other stoppers, but it's always nice to have extra because I'm always losing them, or they're never where I need them to be.
Right. I stopped using the stoppers cuz it was annoying.
Yeah. Well, like when you're knitting stuff, you really only need them whenever you're putting your stuff away.
Yeah, when you're done.
So, yeah. So, um, I kind of have to, on certain things, I have to put a stopper on there, or else by the time I get back to it, it'll all be unraveled.
I'm like trying to focus on this color change. I didn't realize how small this is going to be. It'd be a good giveaway.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be big.
How small is it?
Well, this is one arm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, compared to the other one you made, that one's going to be small.
Yeah.
So what else do we have to talk about?
Um,
Did you want to see what English paper piecing is?
yes, I do because you mentioned it.
I did. No, it's not something that I do very often, just because it is a little tedious. Um, but I do enjoy it. Hang on, let me get another one of my little stoppers. Now that I have them.
Nice.
It's good. It's good. All right. Y'all don't go anywhere. All right. English paper piecing. I'll get my mat all in order. Okay. So, here's my little English paper piecing kit. And so essentially what it is you have these little papers, and they come in different shapes. I like hexagons, so I do a lot of hexagons. But they have, oh my God, dozens of shapes, like different triangles and squares and diamond shapes and coffin shapes,
Coffin
jewels.
shaped?
Yeah, they actually have one called a coffin shape. Um, a jewel shape, all kinds of shapes. Anyway, so the idea is you get these little shapes, and then you get fabric. Now so for this particular size, I cut a square about, like to cut, so it's a little bit bigger than the shape. But there is a whole community for how to do this. So you want, so let's just say you have this is like a 1 inch hexagon, and it's 1 inch because it's measured. It's a 1 inch side, not because I think some hexagons are measured from point to point or from side to side, but for English paper piecing, for hexagons in particular, you measure the one single side of the 6 sides. Anyway,
Okay.
and they have different ones. They have like octagons, they have decagons, they have all kinds of gons. And,
Gone.
so you can cut your fabric to the same shape that you're making. You just have to make sure that you have a seam allowance. So most of the time it's a 1/4 inch, but I usually like to have mine a little bit bigger, like 3/8 of an inch. Because what you do is you fold the fabric down to go all the way around the shape like that. And as you fold it, you either glue it or you, it's called a basting stitch. You like baste it with a needle and thread. And so after you do all that, you end up with one of these. Ta-da.
So you hand sew it first, or you glue it.
You glue it. So first you either glue it, or here's one that was basted with a needle and thread. So if you sew it, it's like really loose. I mean, you're really just sewing it to hold the points down so that it stays.
Okay.
So it holds the shape.
Okay.
So then you have, so I have all these done, for example, that are already basted, either glued or sewn. Then after you do that, then you sew them together like this. So you leave the papers in there for while you're sewing them so that the shape doesn't get distorted. But and this is my little needle, my tiny needle. Tiny. So like this one, I just sewed this little side the other day. So the next side that I have to sew is these two together. So you would fold them over like this, and then you would
Hand sew it.
You would hand sew it across, and then you grab another one, and sew it. You know, until you have. I actually have a bigger piece.
And then you take the pieces of paper out.
Yeah, I'll show you that in a second. So I'm like, I have all these things. So these are my bigger pieces. So once you have, here's those. Once you have a flower, then you can take that center piece out, the center paper.
Okay, because like when you first sewed it on, it's not like you sewed the paper to it, right?
Right. The paper is only there to stabilize it. So once your shape is completely surrounded, then you can take the paper out because it's the other pieces are holding it together.
Okay.
You know, so here I have a bigger one, and see, like I took all the center papers out.
So as you increase, you take them out.
Yeah.
Now, how many pieces?
So like this one is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Well, are you going to extend on that one, or are you using? Because I saw you had another piece.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them all about this size, and then I'll connect these together. So I'm going to keep making more, but they're all going to be this size, and then I'll join them all together. Yeah, I just have them this size just because it's not too big.
Yeah.
But these are all like too tiny, too small. And then then I was going to add to this one, but I accidentally put it in the bag with this one, and I forgot about it. So I'm like, okay, I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I haven't been doing it for too long. So
it looks cute though.
It's really cute and it's really fun. And then you don't have to make, like if this is all you wanted to make, you could just make a bunch of these, and then you can sew this onto another piece of fabric. I mean, just literally on top of another piece of fabric, like, let's just say this is a piece of fabric that you put it there, and then they sell an adhesive that you can put on there, so you can essentially glue it onto the fabric, and then with a needle and thread or with a sewing machine or whatever, you tack down the edges, and then you can just have it as a decoration on a bag or whatever. And or if you want to just keep putting them all together and just keep going and going and going, and you can make a blanket.
That's so cool.
And then I bought this as a little. Remember we got these at the retreat when we went to the quilt museum.
Yes.
So little pin cushion. My pin cushion ring. Okay.
We're back in business. Sort of.
Cool. Sort of. All right. So yeah. So that was English paper piecing. I
like it. That's kind of clever, whoever thought of that, you know? Like, hey, scrap pieces that, why throw them away?
Yeah. I mean, I know it's been around for a long time. I mean, it's like, I think the craft started in like the 1800s or something.
Oh, what's new to me?
Yep. All these crafts, like, been around forever. But then, they kind of lose popularity, or, people don't need to do it anymore because, you can just buy your clothes now. You don't have to make it.
Right.
And so people don't do it for a long time. And then all of a sudden, somebody's great-great-grandma teaches them how to do it. And then next thing you know, it's popular again.
Like knitting?
Yeah.
Why use a knitting machine when you can just do it yourself, like back in the 1800s?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, if I have any scraps, I'll send it your way. I don't sew. No, I want to learn how to sew, but I was telling my coworker about that when our power went out on Tuesday. And I was sitting there crocheting, and people were like, "Oh, at least you have something to do." I was like, "Yep." And then one of my coworkers was like, "You seem like you would do a lot of things." I was like, "Yeah, I would like to do a lot of other crafts, but I get bored of things quickly. So until I get bored of crocheting, then I'll move on to the next." But I do want to learn how to sew. And then my other coworker goes, "Well, you can't bring your sewing machine to work." I was like, "Oh my!"
That's funny.
I was like, "Don't tempt me," because they have those handheld ones. So she's like, "Oh no," and they're like, "We can see Sue up here with the machine going in her office." I was like, "Don't tempt me."
I've taken my paper piecing to work.
Yeah.
You can do hand sewing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The paper piecing it's all hand sewing, so
You can do embroidery. That's sewing.
Yeah.
Cross stitch. That's sewing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not the same kind of sewing, but it's the same thing. It's needle and thread.
Yeah, needle and thread. So I guess when they were thinking sewing, they were like thinking an actual machine.
Sewing machine, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, no. Well, this is like different types of crafting with sewing in it, or needle and thread.
Yeah.
So.
Like, do you know what you would want to sew?
No, and that's probably why I haven't just, sat down and like taught myself how to sew or use the machine that I bought for no reason. Uh,
Uh-huh.
uh, because I can't think of anything. Besides, well, the reason why I did want to buy it is so that I can just hem up my pants.
Yeah.
But I haven't even done that. Um, but I think I just have to find that project and go, that's what I want to do. I mean, granted, I do want to quilt
Uh-huh.
like the last episode where you pulled out that quilting book with all the designs.
Uh-huh.
That really did spark my interest. I was like, ooh, like I would love to like do that one and then come out like looking real nice, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that did pique my interest, but then I'm like, not right now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think I never thought I'd get into quilting. Um, but it is I do enjoy it.
yeah,
I think I think that's just the main thing too, is just finding that craft that, you enjoy. Um, because I think that like there's some crafts that you can get into because you're curious, and you're like, "Oh, I wonder what that's like."
right.
And then you try it and you buy all the things and you maybe do one or two um like like the clay, for example.
Yeah,
I thought, oh, clay, that looks neat, and oh, actually, I wonder if I have the crochet hook that I put clay on. I know I have it in here somewhere. But so and this was a while ago, but I was like, oh, that looks cool, and then I could put clay on all of my crochet hooks because I think at the time, I had all of these um, Susan Bates hooks, and I really like these hooks, but
yeah,
they're just metal hooks, and so
right.
after a while your hands start getting kind of crampy. And so and then I even had some like super thin ones that I was like, oh man, I would really like to have a handle for those.
Mhm.
Um Let me see if I can find my nope, it's not in here. Oh well. Maybe I'll find it for next time. But I did one crochet hook with a handle. And I was like, okay, I'm done. And
I'm done.
so I have some clay. I didn't buy a lot. I just bought a little bit. Um, and so I made the one crochet hook, and that was it. I lost interest. So at least it was a craft that didn't, cost a lot of money. Um,
Right.
but if you get into a craft that, ends up costing you a lot of money to get into, and then you find out that you don't like it, then you're out all that money.
Yeah.
Um, so, and I think sewing is one of those crafts that could end up costing you a lot of money. I
Yep.
mean, because sewing machines are not cheap. Well, good
And
ones.
it's yeah, and
Um,
it's not like
that is
I
not cheap.
right. And what if I'm halfway in it and I'm like, oh well, and then it's like I didn't get a project done at all or anything out of it, you know?
Right, right, exactly.
I used to
You,
be like that. I used to be where I'm like, forget it. I'm just gonna go to Hobby Lobby or wherever, buy all that stuff and try it to see if I like it. But now I'm like, I can't afford to do that.
yeah,
Or
I found it.
I guess I'm more mature in the way I think about it now.
Right, yeah, exactly. I found it. This is the crochet hook I made with the handle.
Oh, okay.
So I liked it. I mean, it's I baked it. I mean, it's solid.
It's solid.
Um,
It's like, I don't know. It's really popular right now are the clay ones and the beaded ones. Right now the beaded ones cuz they're cheaper.
yeah,
Um
yeah,
and also because the clay ones can get heavy.
yeah.
Um Especially if people use pencil hold instead of knife hold. It's really heavy because you guys I tried it one day. I went back to pencil holding. I could do both,
Uh-huh.
and I'm
Yeah,
comfortable with both.
yeah,
Um, but but yeah, I realized that when you do. pencil hold, you do this a lot. You're
I mean, you don't have to, because like even like the furls hooks, I hold my furls hooks, like a pencil, and they're pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So I'm all like thinking knitting,
Because you're knitting right now.
When I hold a crochet hook, I'm like, oh wait, no, that's knitting, that's not crocheting. So yeah, so whenever I'm crocheting with the furls, like I can't get too exaggerated. Like I can't go like that,
Right, but you're still whipping it. Like you still move it side to side like that.
So you kind of have to make sure that you're just moving the tip of it, not the whole thing.
The whole thing. Well, there's one girl on TikTok. Hers just goes like this, up and down, and she pencil holds. And she goes like this. And I'm like, oh, hers barely even does this. But when I see you do it, you barely do it, but still a lot of people complain that the clay ones, because they're heavy up here, that when you're doing this, it gets really heavy. Whereas knife hold, we're just going back and forth like this, like a knife.
Yeah.
So it's not as heavy.
Right.
It's heavy, but it doesn't, like, the weight isn't on top. It's below your wrist instead of on top of your wrist.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of people were like, yeah, I'm a pencil holder, so therefore I don't use the clay ones because they're too heavy.
Yeah, see, for like knife hold, well, see, no, even a knife hold, I still twist mine.
You still twist? I twist mine too, like a little bit. Like you, like when you do pencil hold, you barely move it back and forth like this. A lot of people are like, they're like whipping it. But for you just do like you're writing, like you're actually writing, like this. For me, same thing. I'm not like, doing this.
Yeah.
I'm actually like, I barely turn. I still turn it so that you can grab. But a lot of people will be like they're cutting up a big watermelon.
It's like, calm down.
Right? It's okay.
I did watch a lady's video. I think, I don't remember where she is. She's in Europe somewhere. She said to practice, whether you're pencil holding or knife holding, doesn't matter. But she said, obviously everybody does it different, but she said in order to like relieve that stress on your wrist, she said to practice actually grabbing it. And it's really hard. Like I've been trying to, but like to do basically like when you go and grab your yarn, to not twist it.
Yeah.
To not twist the head, to just kind of wrap it around. And then that way you're not putting, but I was like, dang, that is hard. But either way, she was just saying like, try a different movement from time to time to change, so you don't get that repetitive motion strain. Because the strain comes from doing, regardless of what motion you're doing the same motion over and over again.
Yep.
And that's where you'll get those injuries. But she was just saying like, try something different.
Yep.
Just occasionally.
Yeah, I switch back and forth from pencil to knife.
Yeah, that's just like with knitting. They have like, this is called a continental knitting, and I find this less stressful on my hands to just do it this way. But where you should have those people that do English style knitting, which I don't even know if I can do it. They hold the yarn over here, and then you wrap it, and then you pull it through. And so it's this extra movement that I'm like, I'll get it. I don't want to have to move my hand. Why am I doing this? But some people are really good at, I don't even know how they hold the dang yarn. Like they hold it like this, and they're just doing it like, they're not picking up their hand. They're, I think they're called they call it throwing.
Like they throwing. Yes, I've seen that.
You're just throwing it.
So effortless. Yes, when they do the finger. I thought that was so cool. instead of
And I
going.
was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, okay. What I do is called picking. I'm just
Yeah.
picking it up. So I'm like, I just pick it. Because then I don't have to move this finger other than to just push the needle down. Um,
Yeah.
but it all just depends. Like when Melissa tried to teach me how to knit a long time ago, and she's an English style um, knitter, and I think she throws it. I don't remember. Um, and I couldn't do it. I was like, I don't
I don't
understand,
get
Melissa.
it.
And from what after I learned on like watching YouTube videos and everything, was that if you're a crocheter first, you're used
Mhm.
to holding the yarn in your left hand and holding your hook in your right hand.
Mhm.
So most crocheters, when they learn how to knit, they will learn continental style because in continental you hold the yarn in your left hand just like in crocheting.
Well, you know what? When we were at the retreat
Uh
on
huh.
in March,
Uh huh.
I tried it the continental way, like you're the not the continental way, right? The way you're doing it.
Uh huh. Yeah, it's continental.
I
Uh huh.
could not do it. I had to
Uh
do
huh.
the wrap. I had to like pick it up and wrap it.
Yeah.
Like like not the throw, but the wrap.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because I
And
was like I couldn't get it off or I couldn't get because I'm so used to the hooking on to yarn and
yes.
grabbing it through, whereas a knitting needle it just slides and I couldn't pick it. And I was like, it kept
Yeah.
sliding off like this. I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna wrap it.
That's funny. And that is true because it's like whenever I've done it English style, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. You don't have to like hold your tension, or at
Mhm.
least I don't know. I really don't know how to English style knit, so I could be completely saying all this wrong. But whenever you wrap it around like that, it does
Mhm.
create a more I guess secure hold.
Ah.
So I can kind of understand why people like it, you know.
Yeah.
Um I just for me that's just a lot of work.
Yeah, it
I,
was like watching
I
you do it versus how I was doing it when we were at the retreat. I was like, I'm adding an extra like second of
an
work.
extra step. Yeah,
Extra
and
step.
that's why I was like, I'm lazy. I was like, I just want to sit here and pick at it, you know.
Yeah,
And
I just
once I figured this out, because I think that I had just found like several YouTube channels, and
yeah.
I swear it's like I found Norwegian knitting, I found
So
Portuguese
many.
knitting,
Look,
Japanese,
it's gonna be
and I tried them
Sue
all,
knitting. Yeah.
you know. And this is a lot closer to Norwegian knitting. Um,
Mm.
like even the purl, like in traditional, I guess more Western style of purling, you
Mhm.
bring the yarn to the front and then
Mhm.
you wrap it around, you take it to the back, and that's a purl. Um,
Yeah.
well, Norwegian, you still hold the yarn in the back and you do this little dance. I don't know if you saw it. Let me see. So you hold it in the back and you go behind, and you're still picking it up off of your finger. You're not having to bring the yarn to the front or anything.
Oh.
So um, I liked it just because, like I said, I feel like I'm lazy and um,
You just
it's
want it to
just
slide off and
and it's
pick
just
and
easy.
slide off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's less work on my hands, I guess.
So when I was showing Lorelai, which is my friend's daughter, how to crochet, she she tried different ways. So until she figured out how what was comfortable for her to crochet,
Uh-huh.
right? But
Uh-huh.
then Stacy was next to her, and she was also, kind of doing her thing. And she's crocheted before, like she taught herself and she learned herself. So
Uh-huh.
like when I was talking to Lorelai through, like going through it, it was more like a refresher to Stacy.
Uh-huh.
And I was watching her but we were face to face, and on my side it looked like she was doing fine, but then when I walked over to her to kind of like watch her over her shoulder, she crochets like knitting. And I go, what the heck? You crochet like a lot of people I've seen on YouTube and TikTok, where they will uh instead of grabbing the yarn here,
Uh-huh.
they
Uh-huh.
will go like this, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then go like this,
Yeah.
right? And so they don't even move their hook. It's just they move the hook to pull through, and that's it.
Yeah.
And she will just use her left hand and like knitting.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I've seen
"Oh
that too.
shoot!" And
That's
she
so
goes,
funny.
"It's because she knit. She learned how to knit first."
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like how
Yeah.
you said the other way around.
Yeah.
And I was like, interesting. I was like, you do know the hook can grab the yarn. I guess because like a lot of people, and I've seen people on TikTok talk about it in live. Because one girl was like, why are you doing that? Like you can use your hook, and they're like, well, how do you grab it? And I was like, well, or not me, but the other chick goes, well, you have to like you turn it, you turn your hook
Uh-huh.
so that you can grab it.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, But there's so many ways. Like there's one girl on TikTok that I watch live, and she is a left-hander. She
Oh,
crochets
yeah.
with her left hand, so
Uh-huh.
she had to kind of teach herself. So
Yeah.
she crochets completely different.
Yeah.
So you know how we go from the for this is our well, I guess the front hole like this, go this way.
Uh-huh.
She goes
Uh-huh.
through the back. She goes like this. And then she
Huh.
wraps. Then she pulls through. Then wraps and pulls
Interesting.
through. Yeah. So we go, I guess we poke outwards. I guess like this. She pokes inward.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, that's interesting. And I love watching her on live. I just get mesmerized because she's doing it so different than, what we've
Yeah.
seen before.
That is interesting. Yeah, I think that with a lot of people too, I mean, obviously you're doing what feels comfortable to you.
Of course.
And I
There's no
mean
wrong
that's
or right
yeah,
way.
it's like
Yeah.
that's how you should do it. But um the thing to consider though is that if you're not actually making the stitches the way they should look, so then by the time you're done with your pattern, you're like, well, why does mine look different than the one in the pattern?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, maybe because you're grabbing your stitches backwards, kind of like with yarn overs and yarn unders.
Yeah. Well,
If
hers
you
looks
learn,
exactly, yeah. Hers looks exactly like the pattern. Like
yeah,
her stitches are exactly like as if somebody else that didn't quote unquote normal way
yeah,
it's the same. So I was
yeah,
like, how in the hell? And I keep watching her and I keep trying to figure it out, but I have to like actually sit there and motion it with her to figure it
uh-huh.
out. But everyone in the comments are always like, they either say you crochet weird or your crochet style is very interesting. And she's like, I know, I get it all the time. She's like,
That's
it doesn't bother
funny.
her anymore. Yeah. And her pattern designs are awesome. I buy all of her patterns. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oops. She does the ducky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the mallard that I gave to you, that's her
Uh-huh.
pattern.
Aw,
Yeah.
those are cute.
Yeah.
Yep, everybody's different.
Yep. And I noticed that people hold their yarn here different. I wrap around my pinky a couple times. I've seen people. One girl holds like this, and she just kind of does this, so she's doing this
Mm-hmm.
the whole time. It's kind of hard to oh, or she does this. There it is. And then she just has the yarn like this, and I'm like, how do you control the tension? I don't
That's
know.
funny.
And yeah, and then one girl like wraps it around her finger like that. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
holy shoot. Like, I can't, what? That's too many fingers.
Yeah.
But then I'm over here going with my pinky, so it's kind of like I'm sure people are looking at me like, why is she wrapping it 10 times around her pinky?
Well, I've seen where some people will like wrap it like like this,
Oh
like
yeah,
and
like
then
that.
they'll do. And I'm like, what?
Mhm. But
Well, it's just like with knitting. It's like I've seen where some people will hold the yarn up with their middle finger, and then
oh yeah,
they'll keep. And I keep trying
yeah.
to do that because when I see them do that, I'm like, oh, that looks
How?
efficient. You know, like like,
Yeah. Right.
but my hand is like, no.
Right, same with me. Cause one girl, Hannah Gurumi on TikTok and my Instagram, she held it just like how you had it. Like I
Uh,
can't do it now, but she'll have like this here, and then how the hell did you do that? I don't know how.
I
See
know.
my hands like this or something, and it was very efficient because the yarn was just right here, and she would grab it quicker instead of me
Yeah.
like having it all the way
Oh,
here, and I have to grab it really far. But she
oh,
had it
maybe it's
like
like this.
right, yeah, with your
Or
middle finger,
something.
or something like this. And then I don't know how she did it, and I try so hard, and I'm like, forget it. I'm just gonna do what's comfortable for me. But
Right.
hers looks very efficient because she goes really fast, and the yarn is like right there in front of the head of the hook, so it's not like she's having to reach far or go far.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, how do I do that? I can't.
That's funny. Yeah, I watch these two guys in Norway, Arnie and Carlos.
Mhm.
And Arnie is really fast. And I mean like really fast. He crochets
Mhm.
fast, he knits fast, he's just fast. And I
What the
mean
heck?
he's been doing it since he was like, I don't know, 2.
He's two in
Like
diapers knitting.
yes. And and Carlos is really slow.
Mhm.
And well, I shouldn't say he's really slow. I don't think he's
He's
slow.
normal.
I think he's normal. Exactly. I think it's just Arnie is just insanely fast.
Too fast.
And Carlos always like, it's not a race.
It's fine.
He's kind of like, oh, whatever. It's not a race. I'm not, I'm not trying to beat anybody, so I'm doing it my
Right.
speed.
Yeah.
So
There's
yeah, so
no.
I'm like, um I know that for me, I'm slow, especially in
Right.
knitting because since I haven't been doing it as long, but even in crocheting, I try and slow down.
Mhm.
Just because whenever I do get going fast, I'm like, oh crap, I missed a stitch, or
Yeah.
I split a stitch, or I did something, and so I start getting a little OCD. Um, and So I think that's why I'm slow. Is that especially if you've been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
you get used to it. It's like if you've memorized a pattern, you've done it a million times, or if it's your own pattern, you already know it.
Right.
So I get it, but I'm too paranoid.
Oh, that
I
you're
don't
gonna
know.
miss it. Maybe that's
Yeah,
why. Yeah. Oh shoot.
and the other
Maybe.
thing too is that I'm kind of like to me it's mesmerizing. Like I'm sitting there and I'm like, ooh, look, I pulled it through. Ooh, look, another loop. And I know that's kind of ridiculous because it's like we're doing like duh, it's another loop.
Yeah. It's the same loop
Um,
over and over, Tracy.
I don't I can move on. But for me, it's so cathartic and just um soothing.
It's.
I don't
I
know.
see what you're saying. Soothing.
I
Yes.
really like the process. Kind of like I mean, I don't like ASMR, but um the visual ones, the ones where you're just like watching somebody like carve wood
Oh
uh,
yes.
or burn wood. I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool."
Or
Like I
diamond
really
painting. You know.
diamond painting. Yes, I don't know what it is about this watching a process. So I think for me that's why I don't think that I could ever do it without looking.
Yeah.
Is because
Same.
I like watching it.
For.
Well,
For.
sometimes you go to these fiber festivals and you can watch. You go to the booths and you see people that are knitting or
Yep.
crocheting, and they're sitting
Yep.
there talking to you and just knitting along, and they're making a
Yep.
sock
The
or
people
whatever.
in our
Oh yeah, and
Our
the gilt.
meetings. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Like I'm looking at them and I'm like, how the heck are they crocheting or knitting without even looking? It's mesmer. It is fascinating to see them do that. But
Yeah.
I think I'm like you. I feel like I'm gonna miss a hole,
Uh-huh.
or a loop, or one stitch might be tighter and one might be looser and I won't see it. So
Yeah. And I know that I think I had said that one time to somebody a long time ago, not at the guild, but maybe it was like at a fiber festival or something.
mhm.
And then I said, yeah, I can't. I was like, I'm too paranoid because what if I look down and I'm like, oh man, I missed a stitch there. And they're like, oh, well, you can just fix it. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
but I
No,
don't want to
I
go back and fix it. I want to get it right the first time.
right? That's a waste of time. And then you have to frog it. Like, no, you don't have to frog it. You could just fix it right there. No, ma'am. We're
Yeah.
frogging it.
Right. Yeah, I hate fixing things. I really do. I do not like fixing things. I would rather just rip it out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll do it again. Not only that, but I look at it as if I have to rip it out, then I'll learn my lesson.
Pay attention.
I will pay attention next time.
Pay attention.
Oh, it's funny. Let's see. Oh, so speaking of Stacy,
Mm-hmm.
did you figure out what you were going to do about the granny squares that came undone? And speaking of fixing things.
Yeah. So I'll go get it. Hold on. Give me a second to finish this.
Okay.
This. And move. Look, I got 2 legs done. Yay!
Aww.
It's gonna be small.
It's cute. It's gonna be cute. I like
Yeah,
it.
it's gonna be super cute. Okay, let me go grab it.
Okay.
Okay, so back before I got addicted to this chunky yarn with amigurumis, I did a lot of amigurumis with acrylic
Mhm.
and decided to do granny squares.
Mhm.
But I wanted to make a
Oh, the
beehive.
hexies.
Yes, the hexies. I wanted to do hexies instead of like granny squares.
Uh huh.
Um, and I made Stacy a bee blanket because she's into bees.
Uh huh.
And I wanted to do, oh, it smells good. I wanted to do beehives. Um,
Mhm.
so I did great, but I got lazy and I didn't realize how, because this is my first one, right?
Mhm.
But I didn't realize how important it is to have a long tail when you first start your magic circle, magic ring,
Mhm.
and then weave it in. Not just to get
Get it.
lazy and snip it, because when
Uh huh.
after I finished putting it all together, and I did like a very short wash on it, but I put
Mhm.
it on like a light, what is it called?
The delicate.
The delicate wash. And it still it did this.
Oh.
You see? And it
Yeah.
did it to a lot of them. I
Uh
was
huh.
able to fix some of them and then use the same color and tie a tail on it and
Yeah.
then weaved it so that it would stay.
Uh
But
huh.
some of them I could not. It was like, you just can't, right?
Yeah.
Like this one I tried, I couldn't. This one
Mhm.
is too far gone. And then there's another one somewhere. It's a lap blanket, by the way. So it's just those two. Oh god, it smells good because I washed it. Oh, wait, is that the same one? Maybe it's just those two. Well,
Okay.
anyway, this is the front side. I was gonna put a bee on it,
Uh huh.
like this, like I did
Mhm.
already, and just cover it. But then I'm like, well, what about the other side? Right?
Mhm.
It's gonna show.
Yeah.
So then I decided that I was gonna buy fabric and just cut out a hexagon piece about, you know, this big, two of them, and like sew it to this side and the back side, and then call this one covered up. You know?
Yeah.
And do it for
I
this
mean,
one.
but
And
honestly, instead of doing it with fabric, you could do it with yarn. But I do.
but then wouldn't it make it super thick on just those two?
Um. Yeah. I mean, the fabric would. I mean, if you're only gonna have fabric on one of them,
Two. It'd
or
be
or
two.
two of
Yeah,
them.
these two. Just these two. It'll be a black hole, like a black hole. I mean, some honeycombs have holes in them.
True. I did find a video though where the lady showed how to fix them.
I tried.
There's
I fixed like 4 of them. I was
uh-huh,
really proud of myself. I was like, holy shit, how did I fix it?
right? They look good.
Yeah. And I went around like literally
Uh-huh,
yanking
uh-huh.
on it. And I might even wash it again just to kind of test it one more
Just test it
time.
again. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. It's my favorite blanket by far that I've made. It's just a pain in the ass because I
Yeah.
cut corners that I didn't know again
Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't know, and
I
I
didn't
mean,
know
how do
how
you know?
important. Yeah. It's very important to keep a long tail and weave that little sucker in.
Yeah, a lot.
A
Um,
lot, like a lot.
so, and you still have some of that yarn?
Yes.
Because I mean,
And
I
then
would
how do I fix
I would
this
try
one?
another. Maybe somebody can comment below and see if they have any ideas.
Oh, that's
Um,
true. How do I fix this,
I
guys?
would, right? Now, if um I would probably like to play with it, because I like untangling things, and
I feel like it's
I'm
so far gone. Like, at least the
I'm like
other
weird
ones.
about it. Uh-huh.
Yeah. At least the other ones, only the first
Like,
round right here
so
unbuckled. So I was able to, like,
so
grab all of them.
so what if you made, let's just say, okay, so like on that one that has the big hole in it, can you go back to it? So like on that one, it's like the circle in the middle, and the first round, I'm trying
The
to think
second
of how many
round.
rounds. One,
It's the
two, three,
first and the
four, one,
second.
two, three.
And I don't even know where it starts or ends.
Okay, so what if you made another hexagon? Like, let's
Uh,
just say you did another with that same yarn. You did, the magic ring, and then another round, around the magic ring. And then you stitched the two together, basically covered the hole. Like you make a
just
patch
here.
just in the
Or
center.
maybe with this color.
And then, yeah. And then,
Oh.
but you kind of have to take out, you may even have to take out a little bit extra, just
See?
so,
Okay.
and maybe do 2 rounds,
I might have to do
um,
2 rounds.
just so you can find like the end of that yarn, and so you
Yeah.
can tie it off so it doesn't keep unraveling, and
Right.
then make the patch in the center, and then stitch them together. And that way it won't be like super thick because it'll only be literally patching up the hole.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember this pattern.
I mean, if as long as you remember, I mean, it's an easy one. It looks like it's just double crochets. And it looks like you probably did 12 in the center. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah. So you did 12 in the center. Oh yeah, that's the same hexie pattern that I'm doing on mine. Um,
Okay. So yeah,
so
I might have to do 2 rows, 12, and then extend
yeah,
out.
12,
And then once I get here, I
and
could.
then
Should I do 2 then? One for the front,
you
one for the
could.
back?
No, no, no. You only need one. You only need
But
one
then,
because you're sticking it in the middle, and then you're stitching the edges together.
like these edges?
Yeah, those edges in the center, you're going to stitch those to the edges of your patch.
I might have to bring this over to your place and do it with you.
Yeah,
So you
I could.
could.
Yeah, yeah, we can play around with it. Like I don't have my hexes with me, or I'd demonstrate what I have in mind. But essentially, like imagine if you had a hexagon, but with a hole in the middle, and
I
then
just wanted to do.
you fill up the hole with another hexagon that's the size of the hole.
But how would you incorporate it into what's already there?
You
You
just
know?
whip stitch it. Like I would just whip stitch it around.
Oh.
That's where you would, you know, get a darning needle and just
And then
stitch it. You
this
wouldn't
one,
crochet it. You could do the same thing with that one. You would just take that out.
like cut. But yeah, we had a bunch of interesting topics today. We
I
talked
know.
about the cords for knitting, different ways of holding knitting needles and hooks. Um, yeah, so comment down below on if you knit, how do you hold your knit, like, or how do you knit continental, or all the other ones that Tracy already listed. I forgot which ones you listed.
I already forgot to.
Like all the German, Dutch, all of the things.
That's right. It was the German, Dutch,
The
Polish.
German, Dutch,
Yep.
Polish. And if you pencil hold or knife hold. And if you do use the
Yeah.
clays, let us know how heavy they are or if they're not heavy to you. We also covered the hexes. If you
Oh
make
yeah.
hexes,
Yeah.
give me some tips. Comment down below on tips on hexes, do's and don'ts,
How to fix
and
them.
how to fix the ones that came apart because of my dummy mistakes. I'm
Such a noob. No.
such a noob. I mean, technically, yeah, because that was my first one.
that was your newbie project.
That was my newbie project.
Mm-hmm. English paper piecing.
Oh yeah, if you English paper piecing, please let me know if you do or not, because that's the first time I've ever heard of it, and I I think that's very interesting, and I would do it if I sewed. And what shapes do you use?
Oh
The
yeah, that's
coffin, the
true.
coffin. If you use
The
the
coffin.
coffin, please
Oh
comment
man,
below.
I want to use the coffin. I'm gonna get it.
Wait, so how do you get those like you just how do
So
you is it patterns?
there's this website called paperpiecing.com,
Oh.
and that's usually where I buy my papers. You can make them yourself, like on the Cricut, but it's easier to just buy them. I mean, once you have the shape,
Mhm.
you can figure it out, and you can. And some people sell them on Etsy. You know, they'll sell the file for your Cricut. Um, so you can just make them, or you can buy a pack because they're reusable. I mean, you just take them out, and just flatten them out, and use them again.
Yeah.
And they also sell templates, like little plastic or acrylic templates, so that you can cut out your own fabric or your own papers. Um, so then that's where I saw the coffin.
Oh.
So I'll get one to try it. So now I want to try the coffin for Halloween.
That'd be fun. That would be fun.
Hmm. Yeah,
There you go. Another project for Tracy.
I know. One
I
more.
know,
That's all I need.
right? So yeah, comment below on what shape you use and if you've ever heard of it. And also comment below what shows or movies or reality shows, podcast, or YouTubes you're watching
Yeah.
while you craft.
Well,
Well, I
all
guess that's it.
Yeah.
If you like us, follow us, subscribe. Hopefully we'll have more things to show, or if you want to learn something, we'll learn with you. Just comment it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us and crafting with us. And we hope you have
Yay!
a nice day.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.